You ever go out to run a simple errand and end up with a whole story to tell? Well, that's exactly what happened to a gardener named Ang. A quick, unplanned trip to a plant nursery turned into this really fascinating moment of discovery and a pretty tough decision. So let's start with the gardener's own words, because this hesitation about vines is what makes the whole thing so interesting. It's a classic setup, isn't it? You think you know what you like, what you don't like, and then something comes along and completely challenges that. Okay, so to really get why this discovery was such a big deal, we need to understand Eng's whole perspective. Why the general dislike for vines? It's got nothing to do with how they look, really. It's all about the practical headaches they can cause for any gardener. First off, there's limited space. I mean, who can't relate to that? Then there's the whole question of how you're even supposed to train them to grow right. And on top of all that, they need something to climb on, like a wall or a trellis. These aren't just minor issues, they're real practical challenges.
All right, so here's where the story really gets going. It all happens during an unexpected visit to a nursery. This wasn't some planned mission to find a new vine. Nope, it was pure chance. One particular plant just happened to catch Eng's eye. And here it is, the star of our show, the Pink Trumpet Vine, or, if you want to get fancy, Podranea ricasoliana. This is the plant that, despite all those valid reasons to walk right past it, was just so stunning it made a skeptical gardener stop and take a much closer look.
So what was it about this vine that was so captivating? What were the little details that made it stand out from everything else in that nursery?
You can tell Eng was really looking closely here. We're not just talking about big, bell-shaped pink petals. We're talking about the tiny, intricate magenta veins deep down inside the flower. And to top it all off, there was this rumor of a light, sweet fragrance. It just sounds absolutely gorgeous, right?
And this brings us to the central conflict. It's a classic dilemma for anyone who loves plants. The incredible beauty of a plant versus what it actually needs to thrive. You know, it's one thing to admire something from afar, but it's a whole other thing to commit to taking care of it. And it all comes down to this one really critical detail. A lot of vines have little tendrils or suckers that let them grab on and climb all by themselves. But not this one. The pink trumpet vine can't climb on its own. It needs help. Constant, structured human help. So you've got these two totally different paths for this one plant. If you give it a trellis or some other kind of support, it'll grow upward and become this beautiful flowering vine it's meant to be. But if you don't give it that support, it literally has nowhere to go. It just becomes a messy, sprawling heap on the ground. And Eng's own words just paint the perfect picture of that second outcome. Not just a shrub, but a messy, clustered one. This isn't some kind of elegant ground cover we're talking about. It's a plant that just hasn't been given what it needs to really shine. So you're faced with this gorgeous plant that's also super demanding. What do you do? Do you take on this brand new, high-maintenance project? A decision had to be made. And you know, in the end, reality just hits. The choice wasn't really about the vine's beauty at all. Ang already had a ton of other new plants to deal with and a bunch of seedlings that needed immediate attention. There just wasn't enough time or energy to go around. But here's the thing, the story doesn't just end with a hard no. It ends with a promise. The answer wasn't no, never. It was more like, not right now. The pink trumpet vine made such a huge impression that it got filed away as a project for another day, a discovery to come back to. And that just leaves you with a final thought. This whole story kicked off because of one simple, unplanned trip. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What kind of amazing discoveries might be waiting for you in those small, unexpected moments of your own life?